But we had a pretty awesome haiku for the Team Liquid series. I'll read it out now real quick. Smallpox tweets at me saying, "The little one falls, but in his place is Bunny. Who'll finish him off." 575, you nailed it doing that haiku, and of course that was pretty accurate. It's funny, did get the all kill for Team Liquid. At any rate, though, we're in the Acer Team Strike Cup for 2 different teams. Outside of that is Complexity-Dignitas, well, 3 teams, I guess. Complexity-Dignitas, the alliance between those two, versus mYinsanity. Currently, Dignitas down 3 games at the moment. This is a really important match. Not quite their last life, but almost their last life. Spawning the top left corner of the map, the man who is looking to turn it all around. The red Terran Select.
And in the top right, we got our blue Terran player just taking down opponent after opponent right now. Playing for Team mYinsanity, it is Jakshi.
Now, I think a big question we have to ask before getting into anything is, did Dignitas select the right player? Anybody? Okay, bad puns aside, though.
Right now.
Bad puns aside, though, guys. Selects a player who's got the potential to do this. Now, it's a little sad to say because the last time we cast him, it was a very big flip-flop versus Bunny. Bunny just kind of won with like 3 Marines and snowballed off of that. But that's the nature of TVT right now. Sometimes it's not the Banshees, it's not the tank Marine lines, because let's be honest, you don't really see Marauders anymore. But it's sometimes just those first couple of Marines paired with a Reaper, pulled with an SCV, that just can snowball you out of control in the early game. And it's weird because the metagame for TVT has always been like people groan and moan because they expect these long, strategic, drawn-out games. But we're seeing that less and less, and things like medevac pushes paired with Hellions, things like earlier Banshees, these in the last couple months have really reshaped the matchup.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of different pressure builds you can do like that, and in this game so far, we've seen both players open gas before barracks, so we'll have to see where they go with that, but they're obviously going to be going for quick factories at the exact same time. Both players did scout, so they're going to know also what they're up against. And we'll have to see where it goes from here. If they're both gonna go Banshee, or maybe one is gonna go Banshee and one is gonna go Raven, or quick siege tanks. I don't know, I reckon.
Well, speaking of the earlier pressure builds, the scout is really important because, well, okay, first SCV dies, but more importantly than that, scouting that it's only 1 Rax is a big way to start this match off. So many times I've not only experienced the painful end of this, but also seen it in professional play where 2 Rax Reaper can just straight up win through build order alone. It's so frustrating to watch those games happen because it's like one of those rare instances where you're like, okay, this actually worked.
Yeah, we're not going to be seeing any of that. We see the starport now going down for both players, and we should be seeing a tech lab on the factory, I guess, in a second for both as well. No?
Yeah, I'm smelling Banshees because they were taking those other gases. It's really hard to do Banshee off of 1 gas unless you're rough. Actually, because he's a North American guy, do you know Ruff from IVD?
Yeah, I've heard the name.
I was gonna say, you'd remember playing against him if you did, because he's like the one guy in Grandmasters who still does like 3-port Banshees and things like that. Like he's
alright.
He's a quirky guy with a weird play stylings. But we actually in Copa America last night got to see a lot of really weird TVT builds out of him. And one of the ones, the only reason I bring this up was he actually did like a variation of Select's and Nuke Rush build. I don't know if you've ever seen that. He's not doing it here. He's not going to be doing it now. But TVT's got a lot of really cool builds. The problem is what we're seeing is the most common, the most standard. And what's really painful to know is, like, I know both of these guys have got a lot of special tricks up their sleeves. So I kind of almost wish this was a best of 3, because I would have loved to have seen either of them try and... Because Joshie's got some cool rushes, but Select's got the weirdest cheese.
Yeah. New Crush. Oh man, that does sound interesting.
Well, just a little bit of a self-pump. I actually uploaded that to our YouTube channel last night, youtube.com/mapcontrolco. If anyone wants to check it out, it's the latest video.
Oh, nice.
But no, this is for Joshie pretty counterintuitive. Like, you expect the Banshees. Whether it's early or whether it's late, you'll have a Raven at some point. That's why we have to follow up at a Select. You don't want to have to be burning scans, you want to be dropping mules. And if you can invest in 1 Raven to save all that hassle, so much the better. And between Marines and WAD auto turret too, Banshees are just not that big of a threat.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the micro is for Selector, and we have a Viking on the way for Jockey as well, so he's gonna be able to shut this down, and hopefully him doesn't take too many losses. Select gets a nice start there, picks the SCV that's working on the command center.
Yeah, he sees the Raven too. It's not a lot he can really work around for it. Just a side note while we were waiting for the game to pick up, shout out to Han Solo SC2, thanks for the sub, bro. Enjoy your benefits.
Yeah, 6 star. Selected finish cloak, by the way. Didn't cancel that out to seeing the Raven.
I mean, the one Raven early on counters the cloak, but what's really critical is if you can hold the Banshees to the late game, if you want to break a tank line, Banshees are probably your best friend at doing that.
Yeah, cloak is nice to have, so I guess when it was that close to being finished, it didn't want to bother cancelling it. But, so I guess Jakshi has, I mean, that Banshee is going to be so much useful, I guess, unless he just runs it in and suicides it for a few
where's Raven at?
kills.
Okay, he's going to see this in a sec.
No, I guess so.
He takes one
Nothing.
SCV. It sounds silly, but it's worth it keeping it alive. But 2 Vikings in hot pursuit. He's gonna have some troubles getting away with this forever because he'll have to eventually churn left, and when he does, that'll put him in range of detection. But tanks have come out for both players, and looks like Select's actually gonna push a little bit behind this.
Is this gonna work though?
I don't like this choice. He's drawn the Vikings away, which is great. But he doesn't have any form of air control. He doesn't have his own Vikings. Can maybe secret missile the other Vikings, but the whole point of tanks is, they've got very neutered vision, so their range is much bigger than their vision. You need that air control. This is too early in the game to be scanning every 3 seconds to get a tank shot off.
Yeah, and I mean, the Banshee did practically nothing as well. So Jakshi is gonna have that, kind of edge in this game now, as you said, with this air control. So Select, he just went for the watchtower control, so that's completely fine. I mean, he didn't commit to anything there, so just wanted to have a look around, make sure nothing is coming at him, and gets the map control now with that Marine and the watchtower, so that's cool.
So I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but what you guys are going to notice here is probably no Marauder production from either player. It's a little bit sad because I always love watching Marauders dive in for snipes, but they're just so inefficient in this matchup that a Marine tank is just really taking top key, like Marine tank or bust type thing.
Yeah, unless one of the players is going for like mech and hellbats and stuff, 'cause then you're gonna have a bunch of Marauders. But if the opponent's not going mech, you're gonna have a lot of Marines because a lot of DPS.
Yeah, the thing that Marines are. Yeah, I think in some respects they can be really overpowered. We've heard the jokes, when he walks into a bar, says where's the counter, but I don't know, like they're also kind of flimsy at the same time. A tank line will shred Marines like nobody's business. Neither player has combat shields just yet, so as they stim to engage, these Marines are only going to have 35 health, which means the siege tank splash damage is going to be so critical. Oh, but he's actually not going to see this moving out. Gets caught in a little bit out of position here. Because he doesn't want to move out himself, was Jakshi, but very quickly rectifies that mistake.
And really even games so far. Upgrades are completely identical, but the barracks for Select are like a lot quicker. What's that all about? Where did the money of Jakshi go?
It magicked away. No,
I mean, with the command, just has a lot quicker barracks. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, that his production is a little bit better, plus the command center, plus the fact that we see Select investing a lot of tech and not much production right now. So I mean, again, like the combat shields for him is going to be up much sooner than that of Jakshi's. His stim pack actually, whoa, oh, he's already got it. Never mind. I was gonna say, has he not started stim yet? That's crazy. But he's already got it finished. So
yeah, Jakshi did invest in that third as well, though, so he's gonna have that as a kind of advantage for him.
I like Habitation Station for a multitude of reasons for most of the matchups. The one most problematic one for Terrans, though, is like, one might imagine, hey, let's go for a big split map scenario. It's big siege lines, ramps, etc. But more often than not, when there's a lot of siege tanks and Marines out, like once players start hitting around that 150 mark, that's when we start seeing drops go off. That's when you start seeing these doom drops get on top of the production line and start crushing. I mean, for a Terran player, there's no greater weakness. Like, even your SCV line pales in comparison to your production line, because you just drop mules. You can't instantly call down SCV or Marines.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine if you could call down a tank? Oh my god. It'd be like, when they drop the Scorpions in Halo, the giant tanks there, they just drop them from the spaceship, and they're like, whatever, land on the ground, poof, ready to go. Can we get that for Terrans? David Kim, are you listening? Another balance stock with Rifkin. Earlier today when you're like, if you buy Blizzard, would you be in charge of balance? This is why I would not be in charge of balance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
But okay, this command center for Select actually is going to get up. He'll have to flood it away, of course, but I'm surprised this is going to get to complete. Jakshi's army's like right there.
And we did have a drop there for Jakshi as well. Like, it did kill a few SCVs, I think, so that was kind of nice for him.
Nice catch.
Killing a lot of SCVs right now, and sieging the third. Oh my god.
Alright, so the third...
Really
Was that killed or cancelled? I wasn't looking, sir. I was looking at the north.
That was cancelled, but I mean, still, it was almost finished. So I mean, Jackie's landing his third now. Select CC was almost finished, and it gets forced cancelled.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he lost SCVs in the main from that drop. So Jackie is just skyrocketing ahead right now. Really nice moves there.
So I know people hate when I do this, but because we've just skyrocketed to our monthly sub goal of 75 subs, Evil Zargio and the Misha movement. Well, first off, welcome back, Misha movement. But thanks guys for making that happen. That's a big deal, actually.
Yeah.
That's like
nice.
That's like 9 subs today. That's freaking sweet.
That's really sick. Yeah.
But okay, we got armor on the way for Jogshi. His upgrades are looking pretty darn good. Again, his combat shields are a little bit later, but that's not something that's really coming to affect this game. Select gets a big drop off in the main though while this was happening. Almost missed that. Takes out the tank, so no defense, just the production. And with these medevacs, he's gonna run. He needs to keep these medevacs alive. Although Select is starting to bleed out some of these Marines. The medevac can't keep them all alive, but he's gonna slaughter the SUV line, sends them backwards. Well, he took a couple losses on his own end. He's gonna kill a lot more of Jokshi's.
Yeah, it's a siege tank coming up now, so he's gonna be able to clean this up. But
hang on, why did he start focusing the supply depot instead of the SCVs that were returning back to the main? What was that about?
Yeah, I don't know.
It might burn down. Jakshi's not repairing it. Small victories. Jakshi's on 3 bases though, guys. So I mean, he's got that lead going for him. Marines do try and stim forward. The Marines for Select were not on the front line to buffer for this though, and that's hits perfectly with the combat shields. Jogshi takes a big fight here, but can't quite break Select. And Select, once again, has the more units segmented in the middle of the map. He's going to go for that third. He says, you know what, I didn't do enough damage. Let me do just a little bit more. But Jokshi's own reinforcements. Oh, dear.
This was what Select needs, though, because he's not mining at a third, so
yeah,
he's kind of being contained right now. So he has to do moves like this to stay in the game, to not fall too behind from, you know, Jakshi mining at his third. And that move Jakshi did, you know, stemming up the ramp of Select, I mean, that was ballsy. I'm not sure if that was the right decision, because he lost a lot of armor supply right there. It's
really hard to gauge in TVT when it's safe to do moves like that, but one of your best situations is when they don't have, like, a whole layer of Marines in front of their siege tanks, you know? When it's just the siege tanks raw, that's a great time to get in there and do some damage. Just spread your Marines out a little bit. But Select, once again, being very aggressive. This is a very big drop. There's 2 tanks in this one. 16 Marines. Wow. This is going to be really hard for Josh to clean up. He's got the potential to do it, but he's got to get there quick, because these are going to do a ton of damage.
Josh was about, you know, realizing he was making a sensor tower there, but he wasn't quite finished in time.
Oh, a little bit lazy to get off the siege tanks. If he was watching, he certainly could have, but now Josh is actually going to clean this up. One moment of not paying attention for Select was the difference of him having a solidified position versus being sent back home.
Yeah. Well, Josh has to get his siege tanks down to his natural now, because Select is moving out on the map. Oh, okay, he didn't actually go towards the third there, so Select is just going to chill here, but I mean, Josh is still in a really good position. He's got that third. I mean, Select's got a new third finish now, lifting it down to the, you know, third base location, but it's so late compared to Jakshi's. Jakshi's been muling his so hard.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's almost like running out. No, not quite, but
I mean, the thing too is, like, when you look at the resources lost, it's not that big of a difference, but one of the big things too for Select's pushes just now, he didn't have his own 1-1 finished. And it's weird to consider, but for Marines that have an incredibly high rate of fire, that armor upgrade is huge.
Yeah, for sure. We have now Jakshi finally getting sick of all the drops. He makes 2 sensor towers, both at his third and in his main, and also a bunch of turrets.
An auto turret comes in. This is actually going to get a couple SCV kills. People always underestimate the auto turret, but it's pretty beefy.
Yeah.
You know, the thing though is, like, Select's taking so long to get this third up. He's got a big mineral bank, but he's not really been able to do much with what he's got going on. Jokshi's push was coming in. I mean, guys, sometimes supply lead is irrelevant because tanks can help equalize it, but it's 10 tanks to 5. It's 59 Marines to 38. Both players have their own slight advantage, but neither's going to want to move into tanks that are already sieged up.
Yeah, indeed. And still like 20 supply lead for Jakshi. I mean, that's not really enough to just, you know, stem into a tank line either. So Select, I mean, he's hanging on hard. Like, he did some nice drop play to stay in the game. Like, if Select just sat back and didn't do something about the contain, you know, he would have been in so much trouble. But, you know, he's done some good trades, some good damage, and as you know, as a result, he's still in this.
He's really far behind though on upgrades. It's a big problem.
Yeah, that is a problem. He's actually gonna try and set up a nice position here. Oh, looks like he might get a nice position, and Select's not sieged up yet. And
oof, a little bit late to the party. Jakshi though gonna take the first tank volley. Select can't quite move in with the Marines. He can't split them either. He's got to deal with the left side, and I don't know if he's got the numbers anymore. He lost so many Marines to the initial engagement. He's actually choked in by his own command center. Oh, this is so painful to watch because Jakshi just absolutely wrecked Select's army. Now with 3 siege tanks and 17 Marines, all he has to remain. Command center is going to die.
Ooh. Yeah, nice positioning there by Jakshi.
No third for you. No third for you.
And now we're starting to see that massive supply difference. Where
Oh, look at that. Immediately unsieges. Takes no friendly fire damage. A good move out of Select, but that medevac got picked off with only 2 Marines getting out, and they accomplished nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awkward.
Coming down for Jakshi now, finally, as well.
These guys are pacifists in the middle of the map here? By the watchtower? They just want to be friends? It's a standoff. But yeah, Select gonna get pushed into once again. So much of this is really coming down to not only Jakshi's positioning, because again, like with the Marine count the way it was, he technically could have done that if he had been able to split, but he was in this big clumped up ball. So those first 3 tank volleys just did so much damage. Now pushing up the ramp with unsieged tanks, because unsieged tanks have stupidly high DPS, but this might just be the small little thing he needs. Never mind. GG is called. Not gonna get a chance to hold on. 3 seconds from finishing for Jakshi. And this will put him on the 4 kill.
Yeah, wow. Jakshi's just... I mean, am I not even gonna get to see my fellow Zerg player Sorel